It's time for the Geek Missile podcast, broadcasting from somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. Now, here are your hosts, Randy and Adam.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to another edition of the Geek Missile podcast. I am Randy Howell.
And I'm Adam Dieringer.
There he is. Yoda Dieringer, folks. Wow, what a great show we got lined up today. I are excited.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about and way too much time to talk about it. For you.
That's true. Way too much time to talk about it. So we should fix that. Hey, let's give them a rundown of what they're going to expect on this great show.
All right. So
go ahead.
Yeah. We wanted to do an update on Bushwick Bill. Touch briefly on that.
How about a big fat shout out to the Geek Mentality guys?
And we're going to talk about DragonCon.
When is that coming?
It's coming in August of 29th through September 2nd in Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Peaches.
And then we've got the Lake City Comic-Con, which is right where we live.
And we're going to talk more about that in depth later, but you're going to have to wait because you just get a taste.
Nom, 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 nom. Plague Tale?
Yeah, Plague Tale. Got to talk about that. Got to tell everybody why I was so wiped out the last day I was here.
And then update on a live D&D game with us, with the fans, the listeners. We're still working on it, but you'll get your update.
And then, of course, lastly, we're going to close out talking about the World of Warcraft update, the biggest patch in their history of the game in the last 15 years.
Wow.
It's going to be big.
Wow. That's a good name for their World of Warcraft. The acronym is WoW, and I just said wow. That's how excited I am. So sadly, as we mentioned before, Bushwick Bill was reported dead. Shortly after the podcast, it was during the podcast.
He was reported dead, and we were like, oh no, and then we found out, oh wait, his son just came out and was like, no, he's not dead, he's currently fighting cancer in the hospital, and we were like, all right, well, we wished him luck and wished him goodwill. We went home, had a delicious spaghetti dinner, and read the news, and apparently he passed, and it's unfortunate, and it sucks, because, he was, don't it feel great to be a gangster? Like, that alone.
Yeah. You
could just go off that, but he did a lot more. But
if you're a fan of the movie, Office Space, then you know the song because it was a pretty big part in there. It was really well used in that movie. So our hearts go out to the family.
Yep, just wanted to touch back and give our condolences. But moving on to happier things.
All right. So Geek Mentality. So wanted to give a big shout out to these guys. They did a thing where they did 30 trailers in 30 days for 30 movies.
That's a lot. I don't have that dedication to anything.
That's a lot of dedication. The only thing I can do 30 days in a row is eat.
Right? That's it. I don't even spank the mank that much. I skip a day.
Wakey, wakey, hands off snaky. Anyway, so a shout out to those guys. If you want to check out his channel, go ahead and do that. What's his Twitter? Did we write it down? I don't know. Try at Geek Mentality.
It should be
on Twitter.
Geek Mentality.
But give those guys a look-see over. Pretty cool.
Very great openings. Made me laugh quite a bit hearing it. I appreciate the creativity, and of course the cover art. I'm like, well, now I got to go make us something cool and finagled as well to go with our Geek Missile. We got to add more. Make a whole banner.
Yeah. So by 2025, you should see that. Okay.
Adam timeline included. Yeah.
Yeah. DragonCon. Let's rip into this.
So, yeah, DragonCon, apparently, it's been going on for, like, almost 70 years. It's been going on for a long time. 50 years up. Added a 20. Added 2 decades to account for me.
Another Adam timeline, yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, me and timeline's not so good, but it started off as a thing where people would talk about board games, movies, and they still do that now, but now people are getting up there. There's like 300,000 attendees to this thing now.
Jeez, where's that at?
It's in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, Atlanta.
And I was going to say, I was like, every time I think of Atlanta, Georgia, all I can think of is peaches and daughters, farmers' daughters. That's all I can every time.
Plantation owner daughters.
Exactly. Oh, and if anybody's seen House of Cards, like that's every time I think of Georgia, I think of House of Cards and Kevin Spacey.
I have not seen it.
oh, it is actually really good if you can, forget that anything happened in the last 2 years with Kevin Spacey. Just pretend it didn't happen. And you can
watch
enjoy the
this,
show. And
you'll
then,
like it. Yeah.
And then when you get to the part where he's cut out, you go, oh, yeah, because he did that thing.
With that dude. Well, that's fine. Okay. So cool. So we got
so DragonCon. So the thing with it is people go there and a lot of cosplay. If you look up just the hashtag DragonCon and look at the cosplay, there's some really cool stuff. So of all the Disney princesses, I've never been Sleeping Beauty, or not Sleeping Beauty, but Snow White has never been my favorite. I always thought the really ghostly pale skin and the red lipstick was not my thing. But the cosplay I saw of it, well, I might kiss her from her slumber after all.
Oh, she was a purty one.
They're like, I wonder I always thought that they should have been, the dwarf should have been more shocked at that whole thing. Like, she's dead. What are you doing? Oh my God.
All right. So he could be, we got Sleepy Doc and Necro and,
oh my God.
Pervy Dwarf.
Dopey, maybe? Yeah, Dopey. We love Dopey.
Oh, that we can't make fun of him. He's covered. So,
it's in the name.
He's a protected class. We can't make fun of Dopey. But Pervy elf or what?
Yeah,
Pervy dwarf.
Pervy's up for grabs.
Yeah, and Necro dwarf or whatever.
Let's see.
Anyway, that sounds like fun, though.
It is. It looks like it's a blast down there. And any convention where people do cosplay, I always love it. Some people get there and they'll be offended by like, oh no, a female Batman. I'm like, what does it care? That's awesome. Or that person's too fat to play this character. I'm like, we're all too fat and out of shape to play the characters we love. Now, if I were to cosplay as Chris Farley, I'd be all right.
Yeah, so you fit right in. That would be great. So, maybe people focus more on the characters they're built for.
Yeah, that's what people tell people to do. The biggest thing that ever happens is when people accidentally, people do. I feel like at least half the time people do it with good intentions, but they're like, maybe they want to be like Afro Samurai, or they want to be Samuel Jackson's character from Pulp Fiction, but they're white, so they're like, I'm going to put on some dark makeup. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Never do that.
No, you can't do that.
Like it apparently either way, like I've seen it go the other way too, where people who were African or Black American, whatever ethnicity they're under, then they try to go white, and people go, you can't do that. And I'm just like, I wish people could just let people dress up as characters and know it was okay. But the problem is, since we had that whole
blackface
race, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, God damn it, guys.
Yep, I know.
People got to ruin everything.
It's okay to tie a string to my fat ass and then write Goodyear on the side of me. That's okay.
Hey, if we end up going to a con together, which I think we should, I think we could pull off some kind of easy cosplay just to kind of fit in with the crowd.
Well, that kind of leads us into this next bit, don't you know?
What if we told you we would be at a convention?
We would be.
But not DragonCon. I'd love to go, but and if you'd like to fund the Geek Missile to be there at DragonCon this year, and very quickly,
just write us a check, man. We'll be there. We don't care. But Lake City Comic-Con coming October 19th. Kids, we're getting a booth.
We're getting a booth. Hold on to your pants. We're going to be there talking to people.
That's it. We're going to do a booth, and we're going to go live. We're going to do a live podcast from there and talk to people as they come through. Just have some fun, man. Just live it up and, have a good time with it. Come down and meet us. Join us. We'd love to see you. We may or may not have this camera thing worked out by then. So we'll see what happens. Who knows?
I was going to say, we'll figure something out. At worst case scenario, I'll find a way to rig a laptop or something.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe we just have our phones sitting there.
It used to be that laptop cameras were kind of the pits, but now they're getting to the point where they're actually acceptable webcams, which is nice.
Yeah, and we've got a couple webcams laying around here in the studio, but why use that? That might work. So yeah, Lake City Comic-Con. If you guys want to, if you guys are interested, check them out. It's a pretty cool deal, man. You got a lot of people that come through there. It's going to be fun. You guys get to meet us and hang out with us, maybe even talk with us and be on the podcast yourself. That would be really cool to see you guys down there. So we'd love to have you a part of it.
Well, get something to put in your bag when you come by. There's lots of merchandise there. I know my favorite part of any convention is walking around and filling my goodie bag full of stuff. Sometimes they're like, hey, here's a free comic book. And I'm like, Oh, yeah, comics.
All right, we'll take it.
I don't buy comics often, but man, if I got one to read, I'll read it.
Yeah. It's mostly pictures anyway, so that's great.
So the problem is I got too many toddlers in my life. I'm afraid of buying anything made of paper because they like to draw and rip anything that's paper.
And chew.
Yeah. Yeah, just
toddlers are like having puppies.
Right. Oh, my God. I think I'd prefer the puppy sometimes.
Yeah. Toddlers will go in their diaper, though.
You know, I haven't heard of any... I've never heard of a single dog that became Hitler. Not one. Not a single evil dictator that's a dog that I know of.
That's true. Yeah. Boy, you pointed that out. Thank God.
Right?
Yeah.
I think people needed to know. I think people are going around out there thinking that there's like retriever Stalin out there starving countries.
You are nuts. Hey, I wanted to give an update too. On our last podcast, we talked about Stephen Baldwin coming to the Geek Missile Studios. Was it Stephen? Oh,
sorry, we meant Robert.
Robert Baldwin.
Stephen. We had Stephen Allen Joy coming as well, but he didn't show up either.
Yeah, Stephen Baldwin is the dorky of the Baldwin brothers, and Robert Baldwin is the guy I'm talking about. Thank you for the correction.
Also equally dorky.
You didn't let me go through the whole podcast saying Stephen, so that was nice. Robert Baldwin will not be here today. Guess what? He's sick. So he didn't make it, and we don't know when we're going to be able to schedule him back, if at all.
We hoped you would eat more chicken noodle soup and join us. You always know that even if you're bringing the plague with you, we still love you enough to have you here on the podcast because we like to hear everyone's opinions, even if we don't like their opinions.
That's true.
We could have political people here, but we won't because they're boring.
Yeah. Who wants to talk about stuff?
Stuff and things that affect us. Come on now.
That's dumb.
Now, if they said we're going to add a 500% tax to everything that's taco, I'd be like, okay, hold on a second.
Now it's time to talk.
Right?
Yeah.
That's important to me and important to our Geek Missile followers.
That is. Hey, speaking of Geek Missile followers, part of what we do here is we have people that sponsor us and they help us. And we like to help them by helping you. Here's what I mean. Folks, visit our sponsors. The Pizza Pipeline. Greatest, what is it? What's the thing? Best pizza ever. It says
Best
it right on their
pizza ever.
website. Last time we were here, we had
Surf and Turf?
Surf and Turf pizza.
That was really good.
That
it
was awesome.
Super smooth. Shrimp and steak.
Yeah.
And it had this sauce. I can't remember what the sauce was. I just know it was good.
It was
wasn't
a
your
garlicky,
yeah,
yum
it wasn't your
goodness.
standard sauce.
Very impressed with that. So take a minute. When you guys are trying to... Everyone's got busy lives. Look, I know, man. Trust me. I've got 15 podcasts. I raised 32 kids. I work 17 jobs.
We're busier than a Robert Baldwin trying to get to a podcast.
That's exactly it. Listen, dinner can be hard. It can be tough. It can be time consuming. Call the guys at the Pizza Pipeline. Go online and order pizzapipeline.com. Save 20% off your online order. Guys, you're going to love the pizza. Maybe you do have a few minutes. Maybe you're out and about. You go into the bar at the Pizza Pipeline on Division Street.
You can watch them make it. You can lean in and through the kitchen.
They'll do it. They'll let you watch. They don't care.
They got nothing to hide. All they're doing is throwing good pizza ingredients together, and it's a quick trip out. And not to mention all the sides you can get from them too, like
the ribs,
rib tips, and chicken wings. Man, I'm
Woo.
like that alone. Sometimes I'm like, I love their pizza, but I could just get their sides.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and if you get a drink from them, you get to keep the cup, which sounds like, well, what about... No, Pizza Pipeline cups. They're cool. They're plastic. They go through a million washes. I've had like 6 of them for 5 years now.
Maybe you're a college student, right? You can't afford dishes.
I lived like a college student. Yeah. This is where you go.
But you have to eat.
You got to
right?
eat, and you should probably wash something down with it.
Right. And so keep your cups. Now you've got a beautiful set of Pizza Pipeline cups.
Tell everybody that you have the Pizza Pipeline cups, including people at Pizza Pipeline, and tell them that you're sponsoring them by having the cups so they know that you get that pizza there.
Something like that, yeah.
We should get those cups for us, and then we should drink out of them all the time.
I have 2 cups upstairs. Would you like one of them?
We can product placement this.
I have a green one and a yellow one.
I would drink out of the green one if we were webcamming this.
Okay. Maybe next time we will, if we could ever get this to work.
We are going to figure out the cameras, but go there, go online, buy the pizza, 20% off, and if you go into the store, mention that the Geek Missile podcast sent you there, because that way they know we're doing our job, and they don't, fund another podcast like, Barney's Backyard Emporium.
Yeah. Don't fund them.
It's obviously we need the Geek Missile podcast support. So
that's what it is. Let's see here. We're kind of ripping through this podcast, aren't we?
We did. Well, yeah, we...
Tell me about Plague Tales, bro.
All right. So the night that I came in, I don't know if we did a show or if we just got stuck. We tried to do a podcast, and we got stuck on trying to fix the electronics. And I believe that had I been at full capacity, we might have been more successful. But I was so wiped out from playing a game. I got so engrossed in this tale, which is a Plague Tale.
We played the trailer from it.
We did. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you play as this French girl whose name I suddenly forget because this was like 2-3 weeks ago. And you're out hunting and you're having a grand old time with your dad and little brother trying to find, or with just your dad, trying to find a boar, and your dog is out there and you're all having a grand old time, and all of a sudden things go amiss, and your whole house and estate, because you're a rich person in this thing, you're part of a noble family.
Ugh.
Things go terribly, and all of a sudden you and your brother are running from soldiers who are shooting arrows at children, which, by the Jesus, they don't care at all. They're shooting.
They're mean people.
And I just want to point out your children in this game. So the whole time you don't get a Rambo your way through this game. You're basically trying to sneak through and do as much as you can. And these rats that are carrying the plague aren't your normal typical rats.
They're not.
They're not just going to eat your pizza or teach Ninja Turtles kung fu in a sewer.
No, they've got plague.
They've got the plague. And whenever there's no light source to protect you, these rats turn into a wave that can consume people like piranhas in a couple seconds. And you try to blow out lights and throw rocks at lanterns, and the guards go, and they get eaten by these rats. And anyways, it's really intense. I spent way too much time, and I realized it was 6 a.m. before I was like, oh God, I need to go to sleep.
Geez.
So then I got up at 8 or 9 and came to help with the Geek Missile podcast and do my part, and I did not do my part well because I was tired. But
that's all right.
I will have to say, if you're looking for a game that is more story driven and a little more scary, Plague Tale. It was done by an indie company whose name I forgot, and I feel bad for that. But they're really good. The game is cheaper than a normal game. It's like $40 or $50 instead of the usual $60. So,
well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's worth the buy. And then you have a good time and avoid some rats, eat some cheese.
Nice. I look forward to that. Maybe we can broadcast ourselves playing it.
That'd be a good time. I think you'd enjoy it. It's easy enough to pick up and we could scream like girls as people got eaten by rats.
All right. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's scream like girls. Let's see here. All right. So that's Plague Tale, PS4.
Yeah, PS4 and I think PC maybe.
And PC
but PS4
maybe.
For sure. That's where I got it.
Well, we got 2 PCs here.
Yeah. And you can get it on Steam or wherever other good games are sold.
Okay. Deal. So Steam. We need to hashtag Steam.
Hashtag. And I understand, so I'll just cut into what we're writing down here. So we've been talking about wanting to do a live D&D session for a while. So
yeah.
What does that look like in your head? What do you see in this?
I wanted to do like those video games where, you can go in and play all these people from all over the world, right? And you kind of set up that. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have the Geek Missile kids that listen. I wanted to have them, if they are into it, to join us and be a part of it as we play. Of course, stream the whole thing, live and have us doing it. So, I mean, that's as much as I got. What you showed me on your phone today with those pieces, that was really, really cool. So they streamed them actually playing a physical board game, where in my head it was more of a digital format.
Oh yeah,
you're light years ahead of me on how all this works.
You can do it, and you can do it either way. It just depends on what everyone prefers. I think it'd be kind of cool if we're going to be getting people that are listening to our podcast, but we may not know in person. If everyone drew, this is what your character looks like, even if it's a stick figure with a hat and a sword, and you're like, I am a swordsman, or I'm a wizard, or whatever you may be. Just draw a quick character of it and send it ahead of time before the game when we get started, and we'll use that as your token to go through the areas that we go through.
Ah, yes.
And then we can use that as the visual aid.
So we'll have a token?
We'll have the tokens of tokens.
Okay.
And I guess what we'd want to do is, I think if when we get the people there, maybe make a poll like, where do you want to adventure? Do you want to be in the northern icy hills, or maybe in a cave, or maybe you want to be pirates on a ship?
What if we just set something up? And that's what it is.
And we just take all the power for ourselves.
No, it's not necessarily that, but it's just more of
make it more approachable.
Just make it organized, and because you ask 15 people 15 questions and you're going to get 35 answers.
Touche.
So it's just, what if we just set it up,
That makes it
to
easier
what
for me to
is
plan.
cool, and then they can just join, right?
Boom.
With their token.
We can get it done.
Or we'll just create tokens based on their character. That way they don't have to send anything and make it easy.
Well, if you were going to be an adventurer, what would you be?
I'd be Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, that's easy enough. Yeah. Just eat some bats to get your health back.
That's it. Hey, you walk into a cave and you're swarmed by bats. No problem. I'm Ozzy. I'll eat them. Yum, 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 yum.
He's eating them with 2 hands. He's scooping. It's like eating Raisin Bran.
Nom, 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 nom. So, I don't know. But that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, what do you...
No, I think I saw a digital board and people be like, like Mr. Baldwin, what do you do with your... Oh, he's not here. The Elven Ranger, what do we have? There's a bear that pops out of the woods. What do you do? And then, they'd be like, I shoot an arrow at it or I run away and then,
Yeah.
have them roll the dice, see where they end up, and hopefully they succeed or get eaten by a bear. That's D&D.
You never know. Right. It's a game of chance.
Some people never even leave sometimes they go, you all start off in a tavern and you never leave the tavern. You all just get drunk, get into a fight with some of the people in the bar, and that's your session. You never know.
Huh.
Sometimes people leave the tavern, and in mine, they found a murder in the game I was running a couple weeks ago. They found out who a murderer was on a riverbank and went to a carnival and then got attacked by some goblins.
Ooh, spooky goblins.
Yeah, they were undead goblins too, so they were like all zombified and still shooting at people.
Okay. Well, cool. So we'll work on that. When I say we will, I mean you, because that's more of your arena than mine.
That is my wheelhouse.
Yep, that's your thing. So
As long as we set a date and a time, I'll get it done.
Sweet. So let's do that, and we'll just put it together and keep people updated. And then when it's ready, we'll do the big announcement and have people come in.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We'll set up an online platform for them to work with, and we'll record it and put it up on the Geek Missile YouTube. And it's going to be a good time.
Let's do it. Okay. Done on that.
So
nice. So, yeah. Wow. Right? You know what time it is. Wow.
So the game itself has been in a weird state. It started off where anybody who's played the game, they started off and they said, hey, I played these characters, but they put them in some of the classes were not in a great spot, and they said, hey, it's going to take like 4 months to fix it. So the game hasn't been on a good start for this year. Usually they do a lot better, but we're hoping that this new set of updates they put in is going to breathe new life into the game.
Oh.
They're continuing the story. We're going down to below the depths of the sea. They have this cool trailer where everyone's on their boats, and all of a sudden the water just opens up and they get sucked to the bottom of the ocean. And I guess we get sucked to the bottom of the ocean, and I want to know, like, if I sucked my enemies to the bottom of the ocean in their boats, because the water kind of moses out of the way and splits,
Okay.
to where they go to the bottom, and then there's just no water around them, I would just shut the curtain again.
So is this the Battle for Azeroth?
It is, yeah. This is Battle for Azeroth, and we're going to Nazjatar, which is the home of the Nagas and the Murlocs. I know.
Not gonna work here anymore. That's from the movie Office Space.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
let's do this. I got the trailer. Let's play it real quick.
Let's do it.
There we go.
Ours is a cycle of hatred. Alliances forged and broken. We have paid the price for sharing this world. And we have forgotten what makes us strong.
Close ranks! Advance has won! Lordaeron will be ours! My king, we have her cornered.
Keep firing!
Oh, what a cool trailer, man.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's the hype for the Battle for Azeroth. And it's getting into its latest content update. So even if you're new to the game, haven't played it before, or maybe you put the game down for a while because you were upset or whatever it may be, I think what's coming next is really going to be something to be excited for. We're going to go under the sea, meet the hermit crabs and the fish. It's going to be good.
I'm excited, man. That looked really cool.
Like, yep, everything about it. If you're a Geek Missile or if you missile the geeks, I think you're really going to enjoy it.
I'm going to pull this other trailer up. Azura,
yeah.
Well, I'm going to see if I can find it. I don't know if I can or not, but I'm not real gooder with stuff like that. So, Azura.
Yeah, it's so aside on top of that, while we're dealing with the underwater stuff, they also have done something for gnomes, who are my favorite particular race. Also, my favorite lawn ornament that people have is whenever I see them with garden gnomes. But essentially, they're going to go to this ancient city that's filled with steampunk stuff, where the gnomes have this city, and they're trying to obtain eternal life. They recently just released a comic about a gnome who had been looking for this his entire life because he wants to find a way to stop himself from aging because, well, he's going to die. He's an old gnome.
Right, sure.
And he actually... Well, I'll leave it to everybody to read the comic, but let's just say he finds what he's looking for, and it gets interesting from there. But we're going to go down there, too, and hang out with the gnomes and help them fight off the bad stuff.
Spoiler alert. All right. Well, cool. I found the trailer. Let's play it.
My queen, they have arrived. Wonderful. Set the time stone, won't you? My empire is vast, beyond dreams. I almost envy you, beholding such grandeur in the presence of your true queen. Now, swear your loyalty to me, or refuse and be crushed beneath the waves. Fire!
Yeah, no, I'm super excited, and pretty much everything. Maybe I was born to be a sailor, because I always love anything that has to do with underwater stuff or boats, things like that. I always think it's super interesting, and so getting to go down there and fight all the fish people, I'm amped.
Yeah, that sounds like it really is a cool trailer. I love these trailers, man. It always seems like, it's, I don't know, like movies. Like I could sit and watch a 2-hour trailer.
Oh, yeah, they do really good. They put a lot of focus into their art and as far as their story team as well. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it, and I wish they would have somehow... they sold off all the props to the Warcraft movie that they did.
Oh, really?
And I guess they're really... they're like, yep, it's not going to happen. And I was like, oh, the first one was good. Not everyone liked it, but I was like, but maybe... And I know I'm biased, but I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Man, that is great. That's really cool. So we can look forward to that, too. It said 6:25, so that's in a couple of days.
Yeah, getting my no sleep ready and my my pile of Hot Pockets,
Nice, dude. Yeah. And your Jolt Cola?
My Jolt Cola, pile of Hot Pockets, cheesy poofs.
Get your, was it your 114 baud modem all souped up and ready to go?
Get my crank start computer going.
That's too funny, man.
No, it's gonna be good, and it reminds. Did you ever see there was a documentary that they did about mermaids for the Discovery Channel?
I did see that,
and it was funny because I was like, even though people were like, because obviously a lot of it was this was a kind of more of a what if than anything else, but it was really interesting and still a compelling watch.
So it drew you in, right? And you watch it, and then you start to analyze how these guys are answering questions, on camera, and it's like, bro, you got me. All right, I felt like this was real.
Oh yeah, it felt really.
And then after a while, you start to look at it and you're like, this is not real at all.
They did a really good job of framing it. People were like, and I totally went to the website that they were like, this got blocked, and I was like, I'm gonna go check it out, and I did. And sure enough, blocked website. It says FBI and all that. And I think that's just a thing people can put on there.
Yeah, I do too. So it lost my interest. I felt suckered, and if they would have told me this was bullshit to begin with, then I would have said, "Oh, okay, let's watch it."
Right? It's just like because they did it with dinosaurs too, where they were like, "Hey, this is or not dinosaurs because those existed." Sorry, Bible Belt, they do exist. I'm sorry. There's bones. But because I like the concept of it, I thought it was really cool. Like this is what could have happened if monkeys had eaten fish and then started to grow near the water. Like I thought it was they had a cool take on it. But I do feel bad because there were people who were probably out there like, no, the mermaids do exist now. Damn it! I just watched the thing on the Discovery Channel.
I solved it.
They wouldn't just put that on TV for entertainment purposes. You uncultured swine.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, I got suckered into it, and then it took me a few minutes. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right? God, I was really... And, I mean, don't get me wrong, though. I think a lot of the history stuff they brought in where they showed, different paintings and things of different cultures showing mermaids, I'm like, I don't doubt that. I think that's probably been... I think a lot of cultures have mermaids. Same with dragons, which is why I'm always like, if we found out that we just didn't dig deep enough to find the bones of, say, dragons or mermaids or whatever, I would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wouldn't totally blow my mind.
Well, but they haven't.
Exactly. That's I'm more sad that they haven't.
Right. They haven't found them, so it's just kind of like, okay, well, maybe they're not real.
I mean, I don't want dragons making a return. I mean, that would your morning commute it would be much harder to get to the Geek Missile podcast studio if there were dragons to avoid on the way here.
Yeah, flaming dragons burning up the highway.
Hey, I'm on my way. Sorry I'm late. They burnt Perry. Just ashes, the whole street.
Yeah, so that won't work. Well, cool. I think that makes another Geek Missile podcast in the books, my friend.
Successfully launched for now. And for later.
It's already been launched.
Oh, God. Every time I always say we've launched. Are we an arsenal of missiles or are we one missile that keeps making extra trips?
Well, we've got an arsenal. We keep shooting missiles once a week, and hey, some of them land, some of them don't. But
we will never shoot blanks.
But we never shoot blanks. Folks from the Geek Missile Studios, we thank you. Hey, quick request. Check us out on Twitter, @Geek Missile. Check us out on Facebook, @Geek Missile.
Like and retweet.
Yes, like and retweet. And then you can always find us at geekmissile.com. Send us your thoughts, your whatever. And always, thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys. And we have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel now, and I gotta say, it's really relaxing to be able to watch some footage while listening to our podcast. It's even better. Until we get our smiling faces beautifully beaming at you, the footage therein is really just chill to watch while you're listening to the podcast. I understand some people don't like to just see a picture, and we've solved that just for you.
We solved it for you, folks. Thanks a lot for listening. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
This has been a Geek Missile production, and it was almost professional. We thank you for listening.